Do you want to be the little teacher of Andy and teach her how to do this?
Yes.
Okay. You'll be Miss Tessie.
Yeah.
Okay. Help her, okay? Thank you.
Estas dos, ¿verdad? Estas son una. Mira, cuenta.
There are so many academic advantages to speaking more than one language.
Four. Okay, ¿dónde va? Aquí. Es four. Aquí.
Speaking more than one language increases the plasticity of the brain and makes it easier for the children to grasp other hard concepts because they know there's more than one way.
¿Qué es eso? Se subieron. Se van a subir up to the sky.
A typical feature of dual language development is code switching.
Code switching is alternating back and forth between two or more languages, either phrases or words, within the same conversational turn or the same sentence. It's something that should be accepted as part of bilingual language development.
What was your question, Melanie? Which is small or which is more?
I said more.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
Which is more? ¿Cuál es more? ¿Cuál es más? 10 or 8? Okay. ¿Cuál es poquito?
If you watch preschool children code switch, they don't do it with everyone. They only do it with people who speak both of the languages. So when they're code switching English and Spanish, they're only code switching in front of other English and Spanish speakers. So one, they're monitoring who speaks what language, and they're able to do that. Second thing they're doing is they're keeping the rules and the phonology of their two languages separate. So even though they might be intermixing the languages, they keep the grammatical rules of separate phrases intact.
The other difference that we found between the bilingual children in that study and then previous studies of monolingual children was that we saw a different distribution of these effects in the brain. The children were just sitting there and listening to words in English, words in Spanish. There were words that were randomly switching between the two languages. What we did think was happening was that their brains had to perhaps use a different cognitive process or strategy than the monolingual brain would have to do just listening to one language. In other words, when the brain is hearing languages switching back and forth between English and Spanish, it's doing something different from when it's only hearing one language at a time. We have evidence now that the child growing up bilingually seems to be better at things like attentional monitoring, particular attentional and executive function skills, than children growing up monolingually. The brain becomes good at alternating between languages and switching between those.
A missing cookie isn't funny. It must have been the... 10. We're going to take this one away. Flapping to blue heaven.
But when you look at both of their languages in combination, then what you see is their vocabulary is at least as large, if not larger, than their same age classmates. So when you're assessing a dual language learner, you want to consider their vocabulary in both their languages, not just one. And what's interesting is there's going to be sometimes overlap between the words they know, but sometimes not overlap as well. So sometimes they might know words that mean the same thing, right, in both languages, but there are going to be words that are separate also.
Yo mami fui al acuario y yo vi un grandote octopus, un bebé.
Cuando fuiste al acuario, yes, I know.
So one of the things that's really important to keep in mind when you're teaching a dual language learner is that they are likely to have this vocabulary that you might not be aware of.
Mamá, mira. Te enseño cómo hacer un carrito.
¿Qué es eso?
Las olas.
Las olas del mar.
Mira, Bética.
Mira. ¿Y qué fue esto?
Es la temperatura.
La temperatura. ¿Para medir la temperatura? Sí. ¿Con termómetro?
Como el de los pescados.
Teachers of young dual language learners need to understand the process of dual language learning. And in order to understand it, they have to have opportunities to both participate in professional development focused on dual language learners, as well as participate in professional learning communities with colleagues where they can reflect upon their practice.
We offer dual language training to all of our teachers. We know what we know, but there's no arrival point, and we want to keep learning and keep growing and keep getting new ideas.
Mi papá también, mi papá.
Sí.